Ulihelisti. This is Courtney Miller for Native American Antiquity. Today, Feather Smith, a guide for Diligwa Village at the Cherokee Heritage Center in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, is going to explain how the Cherokee, in 1710, made stone tools and arrowheads.
Flintnapping is a way of getting all those stone tools, spear points, arrowheads. It's actually something, though, that everybody in the village would have known how to do, because the men will have to make the things that they're going to need for hunting, for war, whatever tools they're going to need. Women also have to have tools. They need things like hide scrapers, tools for working in the gardens. So it was actually a skill everybody would have had. To start out with, you're going to find some rock that'll flake. Any rock that sort of flakes like this stuff back here, any rock that breaks into those flakes, it's going to be great to work. Flint, or kind of what we have around here is chert flint. That's going to be the favorite rocks to use. Now they'll use a variety of tools and methods to doing this, and you can't really show this too well on a day like this when it's wet, because most of the stuff doesn't really flake very well. But I'll try to explain the process to you. But they would start out with those larger flakes, those larger rocks. You would take something like a hammerstone, and you're going to use the hammerstone to just go through there, and it really puts a lot of more force behind your hit. You're going to use that to go through on those really large rocks and knock off flakes. You might even be working with something larger than this, kind of come through here, look for certain angles. You might have to set up an angle, but you sort of want a little bit of a jut coming out, and as whenever you're ready, you would strike down on this rock, catching that point right there and knocking off flakes. The hope is catching a point right there, you would probably bring off a flake that would come around right out in here somewhere. As you remove those flakes, it thins your rock out. Basically, this is carving a rock out by flaking it out, and what you really want to focus on with the thicker rocks is thinning that rock out. So you're going to go through there and remove those flakes and get your rock thinned down. Now you can continue working with that hammerstone, but another common tool to work with is the base of the deer antler. You're going to use that kind of rounded base, go through, round it out a little bit more, and continue doing the same things. Set up certain angles, strike down on those points, and peel off those flakes until you have your rock all thinned out. Once you've got it kind of thinned out and you're ready for that finer detail, you might still have to remove a few flakes, but for the most part what you're going to do once you've got it thinned out and you're down to this point is pressure flaking. With pressure flaking, you'll pretty much be working in leather the whole time you're doing this, but especially once you get down to this point, you're going to put a piece of leather in your hands. All of the flakes that come off this rock are razor sharp. They will slice you open, so you have to have something to protect your hand. You would take that point, put it down into that leather, into the palm of your hand, take the very tip of a deer antler or even a sharpened bone, just kind of set that on the edge like that, lean down into it, and then push flakes back into the palm of your hand or into that leather. It peels off smaller flakes. You're still flaking in almost that same way, just sort of on a smaller scale, and it's a way of getting more of the shape, the symmetry, the serrated edges, and also any sort of notching that you're going to need in the base of your arrowheads. It usually takes these guys back here about 10-15 minutes, usually about 10 minutes to make an arrowhead. It doesn't generally take a whole lot longer than that.